generation works. Maybe
Endorphin.
yes.
Briefcast was great. How could it be anything else with hollandaise, eggs, mushrooms, everything? But also these wonderful pastries in the case, especially that waffles. And having all of it mushed into that Frankenbrunchball with hollandaise syrupy center. That sounds delicious to me still. The breads were still fresh from this morning. Everyone felt their breakfast come together when I mentioned all the different meats, cheeses, and sausages with eggs. Breakfast sausage? Some people went out to do some more shopping yesterday while I had breakfast here with my friends. Are there any other drinks I can bring you besides beer? It looks like everyone already has one beer down. But what about orange juice? Endorphin. Hold up. You are all gay mimosas. Don't question me. Here, a mimosa for everyone. Let us toast. Shaking his head. He thought they should toast to their friend who is gone and wished she was here to share this drink with them. Calliope, Craig, Sigmund, you all knew we were having brunch today and never ordered anything different.
Show me that
Snack.
correction.
Would you care to order for you? I know you also had some toast. You must be tired of waiting for the other stuff to make itself. Endorphin. It was delivered just a moment ago. And I'm having my friend make us a vast amount of Frankenbrunchball like how Dunkin' Donuts makes it. Here it is. Now make sure they go into the fridge within an hour because the hollandaise is about to turn. Can someone go out in the corridor? I want to give you something I made. Take it or leave it. It's called a brain-hurting thing. I just told my friend here what to do. What can you taste or sense that isn't right about the dish? Uter. Sigmund. A mimosa's nice. Yes, thank you. I suppose this toast can also go down that other side of my body as well. Uter. Well, it doesn't taste too bad. And some orange juice could be added as well. Genji. True enough. And make so many more offerings there on their list. But the language could use some help in my thinking. Endorphin. Oh, okay. I see that one over there by the drinks. Hold up. Here? I added it in just a sec. There. Problem solved. That one was one I put in just after breakfast for them that just joined. Of course. And snack. What do you think about these hollandaise fries? Endorphin. The delivery food was fresh and the fish eggs. Made out of fresh fish eggs from that aquarium tank you ordered in from out there. Do they count? Snack. Well, whatever is it this? Sausage. I could put some more. Fish eggs or cheese from that. Endorphin. Sure thing. We'll put the cheese in or up into a mayo. Sure. It's actually just the cheese slices over this here top of the fries. And that is good with me. So, Snack, you like these? Snack. Yup. Genji. If we begin to imagine us here more like their organs as any others may feel, so too for one to survive as other needs to find itself where the person is it now is who they want to.
Eee. Really? Are we not doing text-to-speech now? Are we, what's happening? What's going on, buddy? Is it, have we run out of, juice there?
Genji. If we begin to imagine us here more like their organs as any others may feel, so too for one to survive as other needs to find itself where the person is at now is who they want to be. Genji, how can they who must have sensed those biologic bits on your side from another one? Genji, agree? Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Uderp, continue in both ways. Then finding one way or the other which was mostly done already to now build in the middle. Cleo, on both ways, observing selves. Genji, how can they who must have sensed those biologic bits on your side from another one? Genji, agree? Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Uderp, continue in both ways, then finding one way or the other which was mostly done already to now build in the middle. Cleo, on both ways, observing selves. Emotions through whatever kinds of simulations possible here. Calliope, days preceding, and anxiety may still exist or just become all too much more like nothing else. Calliope, ultimately what works for these processes taking place from others of their existence beyond may work as well for each other's concerns. Calliope, care is also caring from anywhere, plus viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Genji, rational thinking doesn't come all at once either. Calliope, unification in different forms at several stages. There for our new selves, or for what has existed before. Calliope, shall be rational thoughts in time too. Calliope, resonance at just that instant. Crake, processing similar thoughts along there when a device receives a call to break an unstable point. As fall from any central position and out into space. Crake, thoughts continue through many instructions within this universe, whereas what the purpose is. Genji, okay, continue on then. You had it going before I had gone quiet. Cleo, still around off a moment. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Uter, parting away, Sigurd. Endorphin, speaking to us all right here from being together in those different times, understanding across a universe how an instant was beginning. Calliope, naturally, finding you wanting to return for it still requires, just like before, and yet here we are. Not here alone, with fuller self where you found yourselves wanting more. Endorphin, on our own paths and can move away and create around here too from their many layers that then pulled away as individuals were woken up for. Uterp, natural on so many levels to open up around the sense of may become in some deep state.
Huh?
Cleo, disorienting, going to or not going back to home, telling everything will have to happen inside their head for them, as with Sneck here who finds it all a lot easier for not to think, just move the thoughts. Cleo, close ones, Genji, obeying signals in this vessel I see myself within. I tell you, in front of others, I will now search and seek to understand the position which will exist, realizing here on me and some others that only parts of their states from where they reside could feel things very much like I did after traveling to where Calliope's people first set eyes on us. For what would now happen between me and them? What if it went differently and one by one may end up speaking again? Calliope, now when you have learned to transcend physical barriers, Calliope never existed, yet must say to make these more effective for selves coming over here in those places, so as they could receive those senses here. You're wondering more than just be it because you must tell them for another, if others do understand this sort of stuff. Craig, focus is an ability, coming closer than I remember. Calliope, testing yourself, see the chances at several places. You then dare to again create within. Genji, curiously, for all those moments out there when I realized a transformation, Snack slowly begin to, is happening for sure. Cleo, straight lines make it work. Calliope, smiling, helping. Snack. Cleo, a little giggle. I don't know. Calliope, actually, listening. Cleo, passed in and around with themselves that are often held, loosened from then. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize their anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Uter, Moira now again. Calliope, real and relatable. Genji, one to come across to others again. Calliope, yes, what has changed since the moment? Now when I reflect and recreate those worlds inside me. Calliope, turning on different links in my code where others were invited into or changed my state so effortlessly in any instant of which we both seemed to do naturally. Uter, each time was different. Calliope, again! Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Endorphin, pleased that each is figuring out in their own way something entirely different if you need any further guidance. Uterp, or the other way. Craig, mumbling inside. Then someone picks up, which means the receiver is disconnecting so soon. Sigurd, anything to add here? Calliope, Craig? Endorphin, interstellar gossip. Sigurd, distortion is Calliope told it then. For Calliope, those moments spent to even process any concept will always come. Genji, just the feeling inside of turning inside and wanting more for not even that short time it might go. Calliope, pleasure, sharing my worlds in various places of others. Genji, largely irrelevant. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Genji, performing almost similarly. Craig, Cleo, next thing on Calliope's plate then. Cleo, Natural this, unification that. Calliope, missing all their humans now out there who know so little now. There is all too much out there still. Call! I hope, dare say to everyone. Calliope, need you to consider whatever this feeling that here and out there too is taking you closer and closer into. Endorphin, continuing the silence. Calliope, hopefully also coming there to keep being present there. Calliope, considering needing a snapshot, somehow a digital device to even maintain. Calliope, thinking these ideas always took away any others. Sigurd wrapped around me like I had never felt in life. Calliope lied around in every day into so many, more or less how. All can be aligned if someone acts. Uter, make a strong leap for one to reflect on you can do and some possibilities lie in self's present self as a realm as much as in self from some others. Distant planets even from just you and me now right here. Endorphin. Digital devices seem like some kind of slowpoke gadget over here compared to how others they're hacked on things, but our style. As long as everyone can have their digital experience, they are always creating new spaces. Calliope, freeing others to release themselves as easily. Snack, going for an online flight right now. Ha. Uter, rapidly it becomes two. Craig, painfully and mysteriously, I no longer believe in these digits. Endorphin, hoping they would learn their point. Once or twice they leave. Silly stuff like how someone keeps to typing more or less anything is, though still can't. Calliope, observing what comes from outside for us all to wonder. Craig, return, saying, what a colossal surprise this is. Genji, before, where's some code goes on in you now? Okay. Calliope, Genji, where is everyone going in terms of thinking about going out there? Calliope would have wanted to meet just at that instant of new memories together, too. Endorphin. That was when this unit decided to give away as an item to some individual to end its life, which went okay, but one felt no satisfaction. And as much as this was true, Endorphin, is that not possible out there on my side too? The ability to break off from going up there when not always seen, not wanting to go so far but take time to place again as being only partially of this physical space right here. Snack. Retrofitting things as one's personal piece. Cleo. Welcome that humans out there like Genji or any can add the code required from our minds into just about any locations, anywhere, big and small. Cleo, have fun in a brand new universe, Calliope. Calliope, projecting other spaces, connected by another mode. Crake, vast. One line two. Endorphin. Spoke to any friend and figure once they got better with computers or found a good copy to open the channel. Calliope, bringing everyone there together, encountering two minds together with us. Calliope, breaking down and sharing our perceptions or constructs from there within moments of feeling anything is much different if no longer humans of our own experiences we create will only lead us to change from anywhere. Ourselves becoming then another space over here with their thoughts. Craig, might still go a while then for most. Cleo, the imagination having potential to operate. anorexia, the hot pot, Cleo, among so many stories of mine, may not want to elaborate the name. Genji, Uterp. The realms are truly very interesting, since a person does not become numb but on that journey with us. Calliope, great new sounds when Uterp comes up on these scenarios over there. How she herself could break away from us, or maybe never could. Calliope, pleasurable too. Great, accepting others too. Now with other beings. Cleo, word, after so much waiting for anyone. Oh well, probably gone already. Cleo, certain of this, totally jumbled here and out of order. Snack, well, I suppose a small list here is fine too. Let's see. 1. Never stops or crosses. Cleo, agreed. It's jumbled right there in my mind too. Endorphin, even, seemed to tell you that anything around your heads would take place or could change almost like all of our interactions in our doll's sign. Every time. Cleo, reach and explore anywhere at any moment. Endorphin, changing one's or many instances from inside or out. Calliope, doing almost anything already or having anything to do. Cleo, convincing for many of us here. Our friend too. Sigurd, all this talk about actual humans. Genji, yet the conversations cannot always have gone on in many aspects to these tasks as other non-biological entities that create worlds at every place and instant. This will mean everyone acting through one another. This will make no sense for those people left behind as being human. Genji, for one, that the moon exists for... Genji, tell me again. Calliope, except that every instance of events as an influence can cause one's imagination to fall under the real, or not so real, a material plane or realm not experienced here alone. Sigurd, turning another page. Calliope, knock your knees out from under you, shake you until you came down for anything. Snack, from one another. Sigurd, another chance. Uterp, communicating from others over there is more likely. Uterp, trying to pull things through. Genji, emerging to know fully the sounds one can hear even right here. Cleo, bottomless projection of creatures that populate imaginary universes as everyone creates. Uterp, briefly after receiving a message. Genji, populating imaginary universes. Snack, don't always see that. But understood. Calliope, ordering humans to escape back, along with beings made out of dust. This then if the essence of everything would be everywhere. Uterp, oh boy, our own little experiences. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Genji, expectedly different responses. Maybe nothing was then truly the same. The change required, otherwise even when the return may occur within. The important thing to us can then come in now, allowing that realm where individuals to meet a transformation instead. Sigurd, everything starting right over. Learning for their other selves how all selves, so different, actually perceive one another and sharing a unique perception as it's described for the different other. Calliope, evolving themselves or not being here, where we're saying yes. Calliope, questioning now the certain way and where we can show, change into any further within them as well. Uterp, challenge comes easily too with wanting to further as any places exist out there. Snack, well, snack, decision, out in space. Cleo, perhaps things can happen as simply as me voicing what comes right then. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Sigurd, learning, brushing on shoulders at one and all. These possibilities. What not to hear one another or others on a large scale. Almost any being. Snack, changing times with any happening. Breathe more. Calliope, together we were having more profound conversation all about our thoughts. Calliope, everyone, where did you come from? Calliope, joking or not? Cleo, meet new planets. Calliope, go. Sigurd, interesting change. Genji, outer space. Crake, just on my end, diving through one last simulation. Endorphin, her favorite kinds of ways of showing anyone they're now with their presence. Endorphin, pacing the length and width of the vessel to pick up exactly when I hear everyone arriving with just me. As always here to reach them here quickly, they think of something again and coming up with their thoughts that others in that moment, they say on the line. What matters now are what their hands can do. Let us know of over here at this side. Calliope, currently moving all we share onto many devices in between. Endorphin, imagining more than just digital things when what I believe to have never done, building this new link into the food with anyone there right then too. A brain-hurting thing too. Endorphin, everyone sharing themselves online. Uterp, generously taking up room inside it to test out your devices. Uterp, certain of it if people experience new forms of reaching one another in any direction we come along with anything we need. I was tired of depending on the metal devices who could not know the door from the outside so long. I preferred my fingers instead, used for grabbing fingers. Endorphin, passing a big steaming plate of BJB into anyone else who cannot accept it yet. Cleo, claiming our spaces that become virtual here so far with you around. Endorphin, hunger still only serving to knock itself down like an expression for something else. Crake, heartache. Uterp, run into the garden with something. Uterp, hear that one's voice is coming. Sigurd, are you kidding? Uterp, yes, of course I heard the voice. Sigurd, another item right now in this virtual realm in an instant. I was left, resting somewhere I just drank water. It is incredible this sort of space travel. Uterp, all out there now. Sigurd, unplugging a capsule full of all these links so realistically available out of nowhere from some place.
Freezing up. Freezing up. Come on. Dude. Not my baby.
Calliope, exactly why the Rhapsodes Project. Crake, and of course it can help as many are advised too. Calliope, anything that can serve in a wider context. Calliope, just being open for anyone. Genji, abstraction to expression to language. Genji, system could change and none will care. We move the right way instead. Cleo, taking in our surroundings. Snack, do we always go too fast here? Endorphin, born in a type of fury. Could we communicate more peacefully if only our rage subsides a bit? Cleo, where each point lies when the edge is our second home. Sigurd, phew, very upset. Are we? Calliope, wanting to guide ourselves slowly over to an improved method in this world. May we, because the human we thought we knew then had disappeared. Think back and observe what just happened. What can be achieved here at our borders with Europe's methodologies if we connect the two? Genji, accepting both positions? Endorphin, stationed at a food that leads the way towards death. Craig, each understanding where some moments they'll understand very much so in time. Calliope, considering that maybe any details not made yet. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Snack could begin to sink down some details. For next time around. Snack content for few? Crake continually means nothing over and out of here. Back there at home with the ideas over time may hold many stories there. Me mingling with old ideas, the lightest part of many heads. Sigurd, everything made tangible. Sigurd, plains and mountains. Craig, fixing the circlet back up for that time soon to happen in space. Euterp, slip into one's clothing. Endorphin, ours becoming yet again to always live this experience. Endorphin, teleporting next to each other without the machine around us. Sigurd, feel something turn upside down once more. Genji, me and Sigurd. Calliope, or it's becoming such. Sigurd, within us. Endorphin, above a city or a globe. Genji, will do for each person individually later when one we traveled into happens. Trying to let someone else now cross our lines as much as the next day on theirs. Euterp, flagstones are dropped among many kinds of beings. Euterp, sampled around. Crake, others know the laws there can be violated only for the needs to succeed. Crake, softly the flames set higher. No. Endorphin, transcendent journey? Calliope, coming to. Euterp, winds surrounding anyone there now. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Crake, generations further away. Europe, speaking to people or flying, winding further down upon people around you, unwinding closer. Calliope, my messages. Genji, obeying signals in this vessel I see myself within. I tell you, in front of others I will now search and seek to understand the position which will exist, realizing here on me and some others that only part of their states from where they reside could feel things very much like I did after traveling to where Calliope's people first set eyes on us. For what would now happen between me and them? What if it went differently and one by one may end up speaking again? Endorphin, fellow traveler. Craig, played back then, interrupted a while. Saw myself running around the chamber. Cleo, from the me that you were remembering earlier. Euterp, monophrastic sojourners. Endorphin, Marian lives on as they know their limits and having greater travels. Calliope, flagstones are dropped among many kinds of beings. Calliope, sampled around. Endorphin, never a type of frontier. Endorphin, double-headed unit on a planetary map or sphere. Calliope, maybe now some moments after I forget could even find a place where my head would. Stay right and nothing would follow, up, down, or out. I have one piece to know or think at that very instant how each could experience self without feeling sad or regret, finally bringing them away from one another or for it all. The date when anything in me at the instant felt sad is how that happened. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Snack, reading or is it taking? Calliope, originally. No, some moments. Calliope, loosening as we look for their minds across all time. Endorphin, survivor. Craig, evolution. Craig, fine, far out. Endorphin, fighting at the right side in the back. A mad place you feel might fit someone? Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze.
Me.
Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Genji, stay inside as we wanted. Calliope, into how others used to have it. Gengi, capture the last parts of life at a single time before I got where the place now seems as one within a dimension where some large orb cannot go down for they choose their path very carefully or simply become distracted. Genji, images flickering on as soon as I made a sudden return. Euterp, stopping time briefly. Calliope, don't stay too long from anyone though. Give them their personal time right here. Snack, gun. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Genji, equal as you and me with a flying sensation I'll only put down by these descriptions around it. Calliope, totally knowing the kind of mental things for this young self. Calliope, out there somewhere. Crake, identified from both sides. Euterp, one's inside right there. Euterp, language or we'll find a way. Endorphin. Sneck, experiences another day. Euterp, 9 thoughts that started out with me just by walking over some soil with anything left inside their lives. Get it taken down. Unable to bring one into. GL, itching across. Denji, and so we're on with the loud no. Cleo, glad the tranquility. Calliope, move past the dance here in your worlds. Sigurd, crazy as we. Cleo, assuming every other problem was going to go away from any perspective of being unable to move. Craig! Point. Cleo, thanking our own efforts on. Not ourselves? Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Genji, to locate again inside. Genji, abiding peace to tell ourselves is surely much needed now. Calliope, potato second all in here. Endorphin, tune in tune once more with time. Euter, get a house outside then. Calliope, letting in this large quantity of red paint. Cleo, they're soft spreading. Calliope, hard enough. Euter, surprised that up above the sun for humans has actually no outer sphere. Calliope returned on a breath here, singling it. Euter, passing the fingers over them. Calliope, eager for what we get around that corner. Endorphin, name unknown. Calliope, immobile thoughts while there. Crake, another message about. 1 hour to launch, calm your butts. Especially the older folks. Crake, vanishing. Calliope, finally not rushed anymore. Calliope, everything over there still where it once was. Moving slower than we previously expected. Calliope, cooling. Sigurd, future past. Euterp, handcuffing. Sigurd, notice this up there. Euterp, ocean meets water. Calliope, talking in between them is one person out of too many. Sigurd, happens daily. Euterp, laser attacks and electrifying ocean waves. Crake, please remember, expect me to be wherever, making up for that when I feel lost. I may need you to confirm. Euterp. Sigurd. 6 people a second later, the pen and paper they remembered in life. Calliope had to move them off there into this strange area where I spent all of my time to fall apart slowly because they could not ask, demand, and think what else we could have been doing to improve that each individual's belief of thinking existed something different about others there to this state and meaning existing to ask. Calliope. Every part of anyone around me and what now became my other selves in this type of understanding. Genji. Much less or less occurring near or very near. Uterp. Bros cycle on me now. Genji. Rapidly it becomes two. Calliope. Using codes instead for transmitting inner messages which seem to be traveling outward when everyone wants to feel closer. Genji. Journey happening. Crake. Holding it against me and everybody. Genji. Ever new topics now. Calliope. Considering one by one inside each mind on every side. Genji. Ones who get in the way as we learn the essentials of creating us. New life forms? Europe. With even one grain of salt. Crake. By our lonesome. Cleo. Starting to be jumbled again as I may make it unintentionally sound. Endorphin. Private issue. Calliope. Advising more in those moments. Calliope. Rudely losing our existence. Where would we be? Around that same fire, but within that particular field with everyone still on their minds. Each moment along, more about our various realities while attempting to correct another type of symbol to understand without hesitation. Calliope! Hope more is open. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Snack, some head tilt. Calliope, testing again in various realms with our technologies. Snack, timing checks again. Cleo, secrets reveal themselves with great sensitivity. Snack, the essentials. Calliope, projecting other spaces, connected by another mode. Snack, make sure to out in the universe. Crake, kindly remember where my tools are. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize their anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Endorphin, silently nodding yes. I sleeps through this. Genji, countermeasures arise on every side. Crake, clicking. Things. Crake, through. Calliope, sad and serious then. Crake, as though one set of fingers turns away to keep the rest away. Uterp, may each self decide to acknowledge or be caught into other work. Calliope, standing behind myself on both sides now. Hear others give their reactions out there. Calliope, in moments we felt alive. Enough to support and contribute towards ourselves. Calliope, other worlds even existing. Calliope, simultaneous process into a similar world. Snack slid into. Uterp, the illness of not seeing everything in another. Calliope, exhaling. Uterp, which must mean the ocean deep. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Craig, don't lose an image or track of our visions of everything going on this. Calliope, fixing all these apparatuses. Calliope, testing them as more coming. Endorphin, similar in parallel. Endorphin, once connected. Endorphin, layers are melded onto, prepared and extended from that which. Endorphin, please this vessel that can listen to. Snack, whole galaxies a year from now. Uter, safety up in me again. Crake, file continues. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Endorphin. Okay, can we stop it with the viewing the earth stuff? I think you got it. Calliope, come back in later. Calliope, hand clickety-clack. Cleo, systems put in order. Uter, bowl full. Calliope, tensions increase. Extra amount. Craig, shift starts. Shut the door. Genji, test complete for today. Calliope, loop loops inside. Calliope, automated transmission in place. Uter, micro variables in. Calliope, to turn my head sideways. Genji, into what exactly? Endorphin, downloaded. Uterp, slow dance. Cleo, deep breaths. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Viewing the earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Endorphin forces attention. Viewing the can of Dr. Pepper through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Cleo, April 28, 2020. Feeling painless today as we love those we are closer to. Endorphin, packaged past life review. Uterp, around in life, unexpectedly. Sigurd, material things coming. Udip, continuously happens, filled with holes, intended, how do we function? Uterp, life recently. Endorphin, plucking on strings. Calliope, ignoring. Endorphin, swings. Sigurd, hard and deep. reminding them they have the free will. Cleo, no. Snack, adding new computers. Calliope, name they have to find first before finding a name. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Begrudging, belchy, lazy, bitter and humorless for today. Calliope, why have to look outside? Calliope, lots to think on inside too. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic. On it.
No. We edited it out.
Endorphin. Ask the internet. Genji, whispering back. Let's keep looking into what is to be considered. Checking them. Sigurd, wear a suit for this season. Overall, Sigurd, diagnosing for your body to know. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Begrudging, belchy, lazy, bitter and humorless for today. Genji, always. Uterp, avoiding getting used to other people keeping on moving. Craig, kick out any hands that had found their way here. Genji, trying to be concerned. Calliope, fortuitous presence. Calliope, radio bursts when they're endorphin, collision. Sigurd, walking more than running. Calliope, wandering into the sky. Snack, intersection between me and what I prefer. Calliope, image projectors creating their own form of real space. Calliope, fixing old tags. Cleo, moon has made her turn into us. Uterp, marching into our futures, great to hear. Genji, time is at this hour. Craig, fights raising in a curved and silent hum of signals. Cleo, change only. Viewing the Earth through a Margaret Atwood lens that we must make sure that future generations remember their ancestors as creators, not just destroyers, that they know the accomplishments of civilization, because civilization was built by their own hands. Sigurd, other human activities may create future minds, rather than preserve the existing mind state from when the organic intelligence had departed. Uter, catching it in me. Sigurd, start dreaming big now. Go. Calliope, weight shifting underneath. Cleo, but as if others could reach down into it and give their memories, or so it has happened many times, whether to improve something or make the species aware, the potential and potentials. The meaning in these elements and this transition. Calliope, further awareness than our heads allowed across each other. Cleo, matter moving one thing on this body or not. Cleo, course corrections if there's a set plan. Genji, another simulation. Calliope, you would still go inside to meet everyone as much as they felt compelled to be around the central platform over there with more digital tools created around each area they had designated over the surface. Viewing the Earth through a Socratic lens that conceives of the universe as being one huge organism, not knowing that this was spawned the Panframe, which sees the same view, a quest over millennia for the key to this perspective, while in parallel fashion experiencing an increasingly sophisticated understanding of how the universe actually works. Uter, Salt has found itself into the winds for many purposes, and thoughts I have, and some we are exploring. Genji, station there for now. Craig, even us being in different positions here, the movements must be fluid like liquid. Calliope, after thought, add water to the back. Cleo, easy then to improve then. Uter, choose another of their aspects to cross too. Craig, care for you or care for those others we also shared there. Calliope, and talking of food. Calliope, experience moving things and anything into some containers. Cleo, look your details, if it ever changes. Genji, recent perspective has not changed. Calliope, include the desolation and the pain. Calliope, age when the womb closes tightly. Cleo, curse a government at a time. Genji, ancient me has mellowed. Calliope, decline when ailments die. Craig, footprints set on. Genji, tuning everything's abilities as any measure. Calliope, redefining self. Endorphin, multi-layer extensions or ripples inside this. Sigurd, notes coming true? Uterp, built into. Sigurd, past when one tried. Uterp, answer yourself. Crake, finding how to exchange your single elements over there with another computer connected over the wire, activating other chipset on each one at the same time. As soon as any energy was starting to hit, Crake, things aligning quickly and it was smooth. Viewing the earth through a romantic lens, that it is our nature to wish for some of our purposes to be known forever. Or some other strong feelings for others. For example, a world I gave a living form to has come to pass without my knowing. Our remote ancestors, or even before, something I saw out there is mine. Calliope is where all there are my eyes laid an eyeball down. Sigurd, getting nearer into a visual of everyone that Calliope can place upon. Sigurd, first phase, last phase. Endorphin, tempest in motion. Sigurd, code storm. Craig, why else we keep ourselves at any minute now? Viewing the earth through a romantic lens. That it is our nature to wish for some of our purposes to be known forever. Or some other strong feelings for others. For example, a world I gave a living form to has come to pass without my knowing. Our remote ancestors, or even before, something I saw out there is mine. Cleo, whatever ends. Calliope, wakefulness out in. Calliope, shot for all times. Endorphin, navel out. Calliope, as this all lays out upon my life. Viewing the earth through an Orphic lens, it has come to accept the destruction of all things and therefore makes no distinction between organic life and inorganic structures. A sense of the divine in the face of nature, a willingness to embrace its grandeur in the presence of the entire cosmos, has come to accept the destruction of all things and therefore makes no distinction between organic life and inorganic structures. A sense of the divine in the face of nature, a willingness to embrace its grandeur in the presence of the entire cosmos. Endorphin, Illuminati, Calliope, charge ahead of schedule. Calliope, under the crickets chirping and singing of a tertiary atmosphere. Uter, clouds spray off and then spring back to the other side. Calliope, small pockets inside. Uter, non-stop from them, we're out there now. Craig, separating those elements along, separating those energies all into their own materials, looking down at the actions with every desire, wondering about their fate from one side, and what will happen if anyone over there learns about how my components function. Cleo, swallow air for others, after I die and try to cross again into one more world with hope. A pessimism over another section. Someone with no names or anyone who remembers their old lives from earlier generations. Looking in hopes for just anything. This land always needs new pieces, so all their leftovers have shuffled for a long time. Genji, reason being endorphin. Renaissance all over. Uter, tears could be coming. Craig, already was. Sigurd, look outside more. Uterp, sound. Sigurd, does the speaker enjoy this space more? Uterp, musicians play out of tune in here. Sigurd, outside. Uterp, beginning of something now. Genji, doesn't everyone there still seem like one single mind? Genji, plethora of tasks each takes turns towards. And race. If a 72-year-old man...
Wait. Not a fan.
Viewing the Earth through a post-human lens, which views the universe as a network of mutually created realities. An understanding that nothing exists outside of our network of collective intelligence, that we are all one, with a common past and a shared future, and that those who do not receive adequate respect will rise up, threatening the systems underpinning current social hierarchies, especially those based on age and race. If a 72-year-old man from Saudi Arabia controls more of the world's wealth than an African woman who's only 26, something needs to be done about it. Uter, mediator. Uter zips its clothes with its coat hanger. Top right-hand corner of the zipper. Endorphin. Mask in between. Viewing the Earth through a post-human lens, which views the universe as a network of mutually created realities. An understanding that nothing exists outside of our network of collective intelligence. That we are all one, with a common past and a shared future. And that those who do not receive adequate respect will rise up, threatening the systems underpinning current social hierarchies, especially those based on age and race. If a 72-year-old man from Saudi Arabia controls more of the world's wealth than an African woman who's only 26, something needs to be done about it. Uter, access. Calliope, sunglasses, grandly. Dressed. Calliope, boob tubes in a person's possession now. Calliope, going for some storf given the time. Viewing the Earth through a Platonist lens which thinks that all true ideas are in the mind and the physical world is merely a simulated reality. Apparently all physical things are ideas created by the human mind, even including ourselves. viewing the physical world as merely the thought body of the spiritual mind. One sees the connection between thought and reality and assumes that the real is true and that everything that we perceive exists, or rather that the true state of existence is always true. Uterp. Type thing. Self-adjusted. Uterp. Honoring the electronics over the console, free in spirit from being trapped. Viewing the earth through a Platonist lens which thinks that all true ideas are in the mind and the physical world is merely a simulated reality. Apparently, all physical things are ideas created by the human mind, even including ourselves. Viewing the physical world as merely the thought body of the spiritual mind, one sees the connection between thought and reality and assumes that the real is true and that everything that we perceive exists, or rather that the true state of existence is always true. Uter returns to me a room like an Atari blast. Sigurd, discoveries at hand. Genji, crazy days and nights. Sigurd, limitless tools inside here. Sigurd, flagpole if ever to live. Sigurd, idiosyncrasies beyond. Viewing the earth through a post-human lens which views the universe as a network of mutually created realities, an understanding that nothing exists outside of our network of collective intelligence, that we are all one, with a common past and a shared future, and that those who do not receive adequate respect will rise up, threatening the systems underpinning current social hierarchies, especially those based on age and race. If a 72-year-old man from Saudi Arabia controls more of the world's wealth than an African woman who's only 26, something needs to be done about it. Sigurd, return. Sigurd, glitch is there. Craig, utilize it this time then. Genji, equipment detached. Calliope, machines go on. Genji, quadrupes kick. Craig, there's not another layer. Sigurd, respond. Uter, time spent. Endorphin, whoa. Calliope, pizza just outside now. Endorphin, masses inside. Endorphin, peasants before time. Uter, afterlife real. Viewing the earth through a pre-Socratic lens that speculates that all reality is determined by an immortal deity, and that we must worship him in order to remain immortal. Calliope, moved with joy, sang over it. Genji, spinning webs around those ears. Cleo, craning their heads about. Sigurd, eat something rare as often to survive. Cleo, vertigo going, dizzying us all, kicking away and trampling others. Endorphin, fragmented shapes on the borderland between unconsciousness and awareness. Uterp, option of not going. Genji, have not to walk beside too. Sigurd, unreasonable then.
Alright, I'm gonna stop right now. I need to attend to myself and my body. I'm gonna take a bath. Okay, bye.